Section 6 of A Guidebook of Art, Architecture, and Historic Interests in Pennsylvania, edited by Margaretta Archambault. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Tatiana Chichilla. The Commonwealth, or State of Pennsylvania, Penn's Woods, Part 5. Historic Institutions of Philadelphia. Academy of Natural Sciences, on the Parkway at Logan Circle, was founded 1812 in the house of Thomas Say, Esquire, northwest corner of 2nd and Market Streets. The museum, for its historic value and extent of its collection, is one of the most important in existence, arranged in 2 series, an exhibition for the public and reference for specialists. Library contains about 60,000 volumes, nearly all on the natural sciences. Several important publications are issued by the Academy, and numerous lectures on natural history are given annually. Contains portraits of founders, Thomas Say, Gerard Troost, William McClure, Charles Lesueur, Sir Joseph Banks, Samuel L. Mitchell, all painted by Charles Willson Peale, and hung in Peale's museum. Others by noted artists are Robert Bridges, Isaac Lee, Joseph Leidy by Bernard Yule, Jacob Gilliams by P.F. Rothermel, William Hampel and George Ord by John Neagle, Samuel G. Morton by Paul Weber, W.S.W. Ruschenberger by William K. Hewitt, Isaac Wistar by Robert Vano, also a fine study model of Alexander Wilson, the ornithologist, by Charles Grafley, and statuette of same by Alexander Calder. American Philosophical Society, 103 South 5th Street, on lot in State House Yard, given the Society by the State in 1785. Colonial, brick, built 1789. Originated in the junto formed by Benjamin Franklin 1727, with the object of mutual improvement. Received its name 1769. The American Philosophical Society in Philadelphia, for promoting useful knowledge. Benjamin Franklin, then in Europe, sole American plenipotentiary to France from the 13 provinces, was elected first president, and continued until his death in 1790. David Rittenhouse, second president, served until his death in 1796. He, with other members, successfully observed the transit of Venus, June 3, 1769, giving the first approximately accurate results to the world in the measurements of the spheres. He also constructed an orrery for measuring heavenly bodies. Thomas Jefferson, third president, served 18 years, while he was also vice president and president of the United States, and established its library and cabinet. Present president, Dr. W. W. Keene. Its membership is worldwide. At the meetings held regularly, the most advanced thought and scientific investigation is presented. The Society now owns most of the Franklin papers in existence, recently calendared in 5 volumes by Dr. I. Minnis Hayes. Field Notes of Lewis and Clark Expedition, original copy of Penn's Charter of Privileges dated 1701, manuscript volume Laws of Pennsylvania prior to 1700, and original broadside Declaration of Independence. Oil portraits of all its presidents are here and of many leading members, notably George Washington by Gilbert Stuart, President Jefferson, Benjamin Rush, John Vaughan, Caspar Wistar, P.S. Duponceau, all by Thomas Sully, David Rittenhouse and Samuel Vaughan by C.W. Peale, Joseph Priestley and Chief Justice William Tillman by Rembrandt Peale, Daniel G. Brinton by Thomas Akins, Professor Alexander Dallas Bache by Huntington, General Isaac Wistar and Joseph Henry by Bernard Yule, several notable busts of Jefferson, Turgot, and Condorcet by Hewden, Benjamin Franklin by Caffieri, and of Lafayette, Alexander Hamilton, and Nicholas Biddle. The Franklin Institute, 7th Street above Chestnut, organized 1824, open free daily, classic, marble, built 1825, John Haviland, architect. First organization in the United States to combine science with practice. The lecture course presents, free to the public, latest advances in useful arts and sciences, by distinguished technologists. Also, popular illustrated addresses on topics of the day. School of Mechanic Arts includes instruction in mechanical and architectural drawing, said to be one of the most thorough and practical in the United States. Library is second to none in extent and completeness, as reference for scientific literature. The Franklin Journal, published since 1825, monthly, is the only record extant of number of early United States patents. They held first exhibition in America of American manufactures, 1824, in Carpenter's Hall, and first electrical exhibition in America. Portraits include Dr. Benjamin Franklin and Matthias W. Baldwin by Sully, Daguerre by Abraham Whiteside, and bust of Henry Clay by William Rush, carved wood. Among relics are typesetting and electrical machines used by Benjamin Franklin and early models of machinery. Will be moved to Parkway, Race Street, east of 19th Street. The Historical Society of Pennsylvania, 1300 Locust Street, in mansion of General Robert Patterson, enlarged and made fireproof. Founded 1824. Open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., July and August, closes at 4 p.m. Publishes the Pennsylvania Magazine of History and Biography, contains probably the largest collection of sources of American history assembled in any one place, includes over 100,000 bound books, 250,000 pamphlets, 7,000 volumes of manuscripts, and some 3,500 volumes of newspapers, which are invaluable to the student of colonial and revolutionary history. An index to the marriages and deaths in Dunlap, Claypool, and Polson's American Daily Advertiser creates a constant demand for the files of that newspaper for genealogical purposes. Tom Paine's American Crisis, 1776, and many other rare imprints of Americans. The Society has a large and exceedingly rich collection of oil paintings. Practically all the governors of the state are represented in portraiture on its walls, some of the mayors of Philadelphia, and portraits of many revolutionary officers. A portrait of Johannes Kelpius, the Hermit of the Wissahickon, by Christopher Wick, in 1704, is believed to be the earliest portrait in oil painted in America. Portraits of Gustavus Hesselius, his wife, and of Robert Morris Sr., father of the financier, painted by Gustavus Hesselius, are of historic interests. A fine collection of original portraits, drawings, studies, and manuscripts by Benjamin West includes the full-length portrait of William Hamilton of the Woodlands, and his niece, Mrs. Anne Hamilton Lyle, probably the most beautiful of West's portraits in this city. Other artists represented are Charles Wilson Peale, Jacob Eichholz, Thomas Sully, Rembrandt Peale, John Neagle, Charles Gilbert Stuart, Robert Edge Pine, John Singleton Copley, Walter G. Gold, Henry Inman, Paul Weber, and William E. Winner. Among the miniatures are those by John Trumbull, James Peale, and Robert Fulton. Marble busts are of Washington, Franklin, Milton, Henry Clay, Major General Robert Patterson, T. Buchanan Reed, and Dr. Joseph Parrish. Relics of great historic interest include the Ephrata printing press, the charter of the city of Philadelphia, and the Great Belt of Wampum, representing the famous Shackamaxon Treaty between William Penn and the Indians, never signed and never broken. Masonic Temple, Broad and Filbert Streets, Norman architecture, built 1870, John T. Windrum, architect. Rooms with notable decorations are the Egyptian, Oriental, Moorish style from sketches made in the Alhambra by John Sartain, and Corinthian, copied from well-known standards of architecture, ornament, and familiar figure composition. Museum said to be the greatest existing Masonic museum, contains aprons of past Grand Masters of the 3 oldest lodges in the world, and George Washington's apron, made by Madame Lafayette and presented to him by the Marquis, worn by Washington at laying of the cornerstone of the Capitol at Washington. An ancient Templar cross, original Crusaders' cross, found in a grave at Tyre, Syria, A.D. 1250. Notable jewelers' art of England, Denmark, Germany, France, and Great Britain, in badges, including one owned by Napoleon I. Tablet from Temple of Herod, Sephar Torah, ancient scroll of the law found in Germany, over 18 feet long, and from 300 to 500 years old. Library, Byzantine decorations with coats of arms of various guilds and grand lodges in the ceiling. The Great Hall, or front entrance, contains portraits and paintings, among them The Puritans by F. J. Waugh and A Marine Scene by Richards, seals of the States of the Union, and paintings portraying the Pan-Athenia Greek festival. On the second floor are the Grand Lodge Room, representing a Corinthian temple, constructed to appear roofless. The columns, reproductions of the Lysicrates, Athens. Mural paintings represent the mythology of the Greeks, Weighing of the Soul, Ulysses passing the island of the Sirens, Birth of Athena, Judgment of Paris, The Golden Fleece. Renaissance Hall, the Tabernacle, contains the veils of the temple. 2 paintings at either end represent a high priest and a scribe. Ionic Hall and Norman Hall have characteristic ornamentation. Egyptian Hall decorations are copied from temples of Karnak, Elephanta, Philae, Ramses, the cataracts, and tombs, ceiling from Temple of Dendera, also the scene Weighing the Soul, showing Egyptian mythology allied with Greek. Mint of United States at Philadelphia, 16th and Spring Garden Streets, open daily except Sundays and holidays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Classic Ionic, granite, built 1901 by the supervising architect of Washington, D.C. Main lobby finished in Italian marble with mosaic ceiling. Panels illustrate ancient methods and processes of coinage. Artist W.B. Vanningen. Largest and most completely equipped mint in the world. Numismatic room, accessible to the public, contains large collection of coins and medals. Among them the widow's mite found in ruins of temple in Jerusalem. Pennsylvania Bible Society, 701 Walnut Street, organized in Philadelphia, 1808. First Bible Society on American continent. Present building erected, 1853. First President, Right Reverend William White, D.D. First meeting called by Robert Ralston in his own home. Object, to further our country's welfare through the Bible, the book teaching love, unity, and forbearance. Therefore qualified to band the people together and advance national betterment. The establishment of such an organization in our land was recognized by a gift of £200 by the British and Foreign Bible Society, London. All denominations have been represented in the line of presidents. During Bishop Whitaker's incumbency, the Pennsylvania Bible Society was connected with the American Bible Society in New York, now the national organization. General Lafayette in 1824 was presented by the society with a specially prepared copy of the Scriptures. At the centennial of this society, in 1908, celebrated in the Academy of Music, Bishop Ozzie W. Whitaker, D.D., presided. Right Honorable James Bryce, British Ambassador, made an address and presented to Bishop Whitaker a beautifully embossed Bible, sent by the British and Foreign Bible Society. Emblems on the cover were from early Christian examples, similar to those on the Coronation Bible given to King Edward VII. Ambassador Bryce was in turn presented with a richly made copy of the Scriptures by the Pennsylvania Society. Greetings were received from President Theodore Roosevelt and Governor Edwin S. Stewart of Pennsylvania, and from other Bible societies. At the tercentenary celebration of King James' version of the English Bible in the Academy of Music, 1911, James A. MacDonald, LL.D. of Toronto, spoke of the influence of the Bible upon the Commonwealth. Letters were read from King George V of England and President William H. Taft. This society now circulates between 200,000 and 300,000 Bibles per annum, printed in over 50 languages and dialects, for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, over which this house has special jurisdiction. Any separate book of the Bible may be obtained for 2 cents. Philadelphia Commercial Museum, 34th Street below Spruce, organized 1894, is the only commercial museum in the United States. It received immense collections from the Chicago Columbian Exposition, over 40 governments being represented, many subsequent collections from other international expositions, and special exhibits illustrating the people and products of the world. A free reference library is here of foreign and American commerce and travel, which could not be duplicated, and courses of free lectures are given which cover subjects of geographic, commercial, and industrial importance, illustrated by colored lantern slides and motion pictures. Colored slides with lantern screen and typewritten lectures, covering same field of geography, commerce, and industry, are loaned free of cost to public school teachers in all parts of Pennsylvania. They reach tens of thousands. Also, collections of specimens to aid teachers are sent free of cost as a gift to Pennsylvania public schools. They are arranged, showing important raw material and process of manufacture. Manufacturers are furnished with information on all matters pertaining to foreign trade. The Foreign Trade Bureau is the acknowledged leader of such organizations in the world. The Pennsylvania Horticultural Society, 1600 Walnut Street, first in America, organized at meeting in Franklin Institute, 1827, to promote horticulture and create love for flowers, fruits, and vegetables by their cultivation. Minutes of the society and list of membership is complete from formation to present time. Lectures by an expert in the various branches of horticulture are given at each monthly meeting from November until May. Annual exhibitions are Spring Flower Show before Easter, 3 days, Peony, Outdoor Grown Rose and Sweet Pea Show in Philadelphia suburbs from May to July, according to season, Dahlia exhibition in September, Chrysanthemum early November. The Society has a library of several thousand books on agriculture and horticulture, some very rare and of great value, and all recommended works of recent publication in Europe and America. Great gardens educate people in gentility as well as in horticulture. Wagner Institute, southwest corner of 17th Street and Montgomery Avenue, founded by Professor William Wagner, 1847. Circulating and reference library open daily, except Sunday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Museum collections, chiefly in reference to geology and mineralogy, open Wednesday and Saturday afternoons. Courses of lectures conducted through the collegiate year. Libraries. The Library Company of Philadelphia, Locust Street east of Broad, first circulating library in the United States, founded by subscription in 1731 by Benjamin Franklin and his friends of the Junto Club, charter granted by John, Thomas, and Richard Penn in 1781. Original building, 5th and Library Streets, designed by Dr. Thornton, now the Drexel Building. Present building, architect Frank Furness in 1889, is a haven for scholars interested in historical research. Also has important collections of books on costume, foreign literature, and complete set of Punch, begun in 1840. Among historic relics are original sketches made for Watson's Annals of Philadelphia, William Penn's desk from Pennsburg, John Dickinson's reading desk, and heraldic hatchment used at his funeral, and the Andre collection. The Ridgeway Branch, Broad and Christian Streets, founded by bequest of Dr. James Rush, architect Addison Hutton, built 1878, Doric, granite, contains terracotta bust of Minerva, heroic size, probably French work, formerly behind the Speaker's chair in the Continental Congress, 6th and Chestnut Streets, given to the Philadelphia Library, 1783. Also some articles of Boole and illuminated manuscripts. Mercantile Library, 10th Street above Chestnut, was established 1821 at 100 Chestnut Street, present building, originally a market house, with rooms 74 by 200 feet, and high arch ceiling, makes ideal condition for library work on one floor. This is a circulating library of general literature for stockholders and members, who only are admitted to the reading room, where they have unrestricted use of books. Philadelphia City Institute, 218 South 19th Street, was founded 1852 by public-spirited citizens for the purpose of benefiting young men by establishing a free library and night school, library free to the public. The Free Library of Philadelphia, northeast corner of 13th and Locust Streets, chartered 1891 from endowment fund left in will by William Pepper, M.D., LL.D., for a free library in the city of Philadelphia, opened temporarily in City Hall, removed to Old Concert Hall, 1217 to 21 Chestnut Street, now an old building of College of Physicians, contains bust of Dr. Pepper by Carl Bitter, and portraits. A new large library building is in process of construction on the Parkway, 19th and Vine Streets. Growth and usefulness from its inception are due to the management of the late Dr. John Thompson, librarian, now includes a main building, 26 branches, as well as deposit stations and traveling libraries. Total circulation for home use in 1916, 2,767,310. Hearty cooperation exists between the public schools and the free library. School extension lectures are given to the children of the grammar grades, and story hours are weekly events for younger children in the branch libraries. Reference and periodical departments contain works on art, architecture, and archaeology. Extremely valuable to the practical student and the designer. Here are facsimiles of many most noted, of early printed books and manuscripts, Bible codices, etc. The open shelf system is used in all departments. Fine buildings of the branch libraries have been developed in their architectural proportions and decoration on the traditions of French and English Renaissance, or local expression of the Georgian, always with top lighting, considered extremely important. In the basement of the branch at 17th and Spring Garden Streets is a large and valuable collection of government documents. The Josephine Widener Memorial Branch, Broad Street and Girard Avenue, has reference books of priceless nature and rare prints, issued before A.D. 1500. Historic medical colleges, hospitals, and dispensaries. Christ Church Hospital, Winfield Station, Park Trolley, and PRR, Gothic stone building, organized 1772 by Dr. John Kearsley, endowed by Jacob Dobson in 1804, is a home for gentlewomen, communicants of the Protestant Episcopal Church in the Diocese of Pennsylvania. 150 acres. The board of managers include 3 of the vestry, each of Christ Church and St. Peter's Church. College of Physicians of Philadelphia, 22nd Street above Chestnut, founded about 1787 and modeled on lines of the Royal College of Physicians in London. A scientific paper was read by Dr. Benjamin Rush at the first meeting. English Renaissance, brick, laid Flemish bond, with basement, cornices, pilasters, and other trimmings of Indiana limestone. Finest building of a medical society in the world, with the largest medical library, save one, in the United States, and a fine collection of portraits of presidents of the society, painted by most notable artists. This is not a teaching institution, but a medical society, composed of men of professional distinction. Hahnemann Medical College and Hospital, 226 North Broad Street, oldest homeopathic college in the world, founded in 1848, first located at 229 Arch Street. Consolidated with the Homeopathic Medical College in 1869, moved to present site in 1901. Its collections include the world-famous dissection of entire cerebrospinal nervous system by Dr. Rufus B. Weaver, Dr. Herring's complete writings of Paracelsus, Dr. A.R. Thomas's library of old and rare anatomical books, Hahnemann's works in the original. It has the most complete library of homeopathic literature in existence. Portrait of Dr. W. V. Van Lennep, artist Henry Rittenberg. Home of the Merciful Savior, 4400 Baltimore Avenue, on grounds adjoining the Clarence Clark Park, incorporated 1882. 8 houses and chapel, all memorials, with a summer home at Avon by the Sea, a home for crippled, homeless, and helpless children, first of its kind in America where vocational training is taught. Hospital of the Protestant Episcopal Church, Front Street and Lehigh Avenue, main group of buildings, pure Norman, founded by the Right Reverend Alonzo Potter, Bishop of Pennsylvania, and Dr. Casper Morris, in the ancestral home of 2 parishioners on the present site. Jenny Lind made the first cash contribution. Jefferson Medical College, 10th and Sansom Streets, founded through the efforts of Dr. George B. McClellan, opened 1825, present building erected 1904. Jefferson Hospital, 10th and Sansom Streets, last word in hospital construction and equipment, originated in the infirmary established in Jefferson College 1825. Present site was bought 1875, and the building opened for use in 1877. Amphitheater is one of the largest in the world. Museum contains casts and wax models of interesting cases. Notable portraits in the building are Dr. Forbes by Akins, Dr. DaCosta by Vano, Dr. Keene by Chase, Mr. William Potter by Breckenridge, Dr. William Pancoast by Ewell, also bronze bust of Dr. Marion Sims by C. Du Bois, Paris, 1876, marble bust of Dr. George McClellan, bronze busts of Daniel Webster and Thomas Jefferson. Jewish Hospital, Logan Station, Old York Road and Olney Avenue, entrances marked with 6 granite columns from the old United States Mint, formerly on Chestnut Street. Includes 20 buildings on 22 acres of ground, with modern scientific equipment for treatment of sick, care of aged, and incurable. A number of artworks said to be of considerable value are here. Municipal Hospital, Luzerne near Front Street, 4000 North, on extensive grounds bisected by a well-wooded ravine. Established in 1774 on State Island for the isolation and treatment of contagious diseases, probably most complete of its kind in the world. Pennsylvania Hospital between Spruce and Pine Streets, 8th and 9th Streets, colonial, brick, with great trees and beautiful open spaces in the grounds. First hospital in the United States, founded 1751 by Dr. Thomas Bond and Benjamin Franklin. Cornerstone on present site, laid 1755, can still be seen. Part of this land belonged to William Penn, which he donated. In 1756, here was the first clinical amphitheater in America. Noah Webster delivered a lecture for the benefit of the hospital in 1786. Other benefits received about this time were a charity sermon preached by Reverend George Whitefield in St. Paul's Protestant Episcopal Church, and a painting by Benjamin West, Christ Healing the Sick, made while he was in London. The English refused to allow the original to come to America. They used it to start the National Gallery, so a replica was painted. It now hangs in the hall. For years the hospital made money by charging a fee to see it. At the Pine Street front is a leaden statue of William Penn, presented by his grandson, John Penn, from Wycombe Park, Bucks, England. Estate of Lord Le Despencer. Benjamin Franklin was the first secretary and the second president. His minute books are still to be seen there, with clear, fine handwriting, and interesting letters and documents of colonial and revolutionary times. Philadelphia Almshouse and General Hospital, 34th and Pine Streets, Blockley. First almshouse was opened in 1713 by the Quakers. Not municipal, open only to their sect. Located on Walnut, between 3rd and 4th Streets. First city almshouse was established in 1732, second in 1767. In 1772 it was the most extensive hospital on the continent. During the Revolutionary War, wounded were cared for here. In Longfellow's poem, Evangeline becomes a Sister of Mercy and ministers here to the yellow fever sufferers in Philadelphia. Present institution built 1834. Architecture of Administration Building, Corinthian, marble. The medical department antedates the Pennsylvania Hospital. Philadelphia College of Pharmacy, 145 North 10th Street. Established 1821 at Meeting and Carpenter's Hall. Consists of 5 large buildings connected by a central building. Romanesque, Pompeian brick, and Seneca red stone. Largest and first institution in the United States devoted to pharmaceutical and chemical instruction. Laboratories and equipment are without a peer, for most advanced training of men and women as pharmacists and chemists. Museum has a large number of paintings of famous scientists, also the Martindale Herbarium of over 200,000 plant specimens. Library has about 14,000 volumes. Around the gallery hang portraits of men who have given largely of their time and substance to the development and advancement of the college, and to the progress and betterment of the city. Artists represented: Charles Wilson Peale, Hugh H. Breckenridge, Henry R. Rittenberg. Collection of photographs of pharmaceutical subjects, many rare and very valuable. Preston Retreat, 20th and Hamilton Streets, on site of William Penn's residence. Classic marble, founded by Dr. James Preston in 1837, for married women of good character and indigent circumstances, about to be confined. One of the best equipped in the world. St. Joseph's Hospital, Girard Avenue and 16th Street, colonial, brick. Established first in the parish of St. Joseph's Church near 4th and Walnut Streets, for Irish famine refugees who became ill on overcrowded and unventilated ships. Incorporated 1849, was 3rd General Hospital in Philadelphia. Wills Hospital, 18th and Race Streets, facing Logan Circle, classic marble. Founded 1832 by James Wills, Jr., for the indigent, blind, and lame. Now one of the best in the world as an institution for the study and practice of ophthalmy. Women's Hospital of Philadelphia, North College Avenue. Oldest and largest hospital in the world for women and children. Organized 1861. Its motto is, Woman's Work for Woman by Women. Women's Medical College of Philadelphia, 21st Street and North College Avenue. First college in the world organized for the education of women for the medical profession. Incorporated 1850. Dr. Ann Preston, of first class to be graduated, was the founder of the Women's Hospital. Contains bas-relief tablet, The Woman Physician. Sculptor, Miss Clara Hill. Historical musical interests of Philadelphia. Academy of Music, Broad and Locust Streets. Seats 3,000. Established 1857 for representation of operas in English, and distinguished entertainments. Opened with a magnificent ball such as was never before witnessed in Philadelphia. Now home of the Philadelphia Orchestra, which has had 3 conductors since its organization in 1900. Fritz Schiele, Karl Pohlig, and Leopold Stokowski, all of whom have brought the splendid body of players to a high standard of musical excellence. Dr. Stokowski has said of the Academy, "The architect must have had great knowledge of the laws governing sound, as the volumes are marvelously arranged." The Mahler Symphony was given here in 1916, first time in America. Stokowski, director with chorus of 1,000 voices. A memorial to Siegfried Behrens will be in wall of lobby, portrait figure in relief, with muse of music holding laurel wreath. Carrara marble, 7 feet high, on base of dark marble. Sculpture, Giuseppe Donato. The Manor Chorus Society, 1643 North Broad Street. A men's chorus of active and associate members, founded 1835 by Philip Matthias Woolcipher, director for 18 years. The Manor Corps was the first men's chorus in America. They have sung for 28 years at opening of the German-American Charity Ball in the Academy of Music. They sang with the Vocal Union, choral parts of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in 1874, first time given in America, William W. Woolcipher conducting. Won 3 prizes at National Sanger Fest in Brooklyn, Baltimore, and Newark. Musical Fund Hall, Locust Street, west of 8th Street. Built 1824. Acoustic properties unsurpassed. Jenny Lind sang here, now used by a labor organization. Philadelphia has had over 200 singing societies, and a long list of very prominent musical organizations. The Presser Foundation of Philadelphia, organized 1916, is the first institution of its kind to be established in America. All of its resources have been given by Mr. Theodore Presser. It includes a home for retired music teachers, suggested by the founder's visit to the Verdi Casa di Riposo per Musicisti in Milan in 1899. Scholarships to institutions of learning, the students to be selected by the president and directors of the musical departments, and emergency aid relief to musicians. The University of Pennsylvania and other historic schools. The University of Pennsylvania, 34th Street and Woodland Avenue, with a campus of 117 acres along the west bank of the Schuylkill River and equipment of 70 buildings, originated in the Charity School, organized 1740 at 4th and Arch Streets, made an academy through the interest of Benjamin Franklin in 1749, chartered the College of Philadelphia with the power to confer honorary and collegiate degrees, being the 3rd oldest college in the United States. In 1799 was organized and chartered as the University of the State of Pennsylvania, making it the first institution in the United States designated a university, also the first to establish professional schools distinct from the college. The School of Medicine was added in 1765 and has always maintained the most advanced requirements and highest standards of scholarship for graduation. It was founded by Dr. John Morgan, who held the first medical professorship in America. He was physician-in-chief of the Continental Army, 1775 to 77. The first American university professorship in law was established here, 1790. James Wilson held the position. President Washington attended his lectures. In 1799, the university conferred on Washington the degree of LL.D., and later, in 1826, set apart his birthday as University Day, on which honorary degrees are conferred, with appropriate exercises. 9 sons of this university signed the Declaration of Independence, 7 the Constitution of the United States, 21 were members of the Continental Congress, 9 in the United States Senate, 8 were Attorney Generals of states or of the United States, 6 were Justices of the Supreme Court, 7 governors of states, and many others were officers in the Army and men in public life who had received their education in the old building, 4th and Arch Streets, before 1800. In 1802, the university was moved to 9th and Chestnut Streets and occupied the presidential mansion, now site of the post office. In 1872, moved to the present site in West Philadelphia. In 1912, under the administration of Provost Edgar Foss Smith, the university extension courses were formed, and the college made into 3 departments with a dean for each. The college, founded 1740, includes School of Arts, summer school, college courses for teachers, courses in biology and music. The town scientific school, founded 1875, includes architecture, chemistry, science, technology, mechanical, electrical, and civil engineering. Wharton School of Finance and Commerce, founded 1881, includes School of Accounts and Finance in Philadelphia, and Extension Schools of Finance and Accounts in Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. Department of Music, through the unceasing and wise direction of Dr. Hugh A. Clark, has graduated hundreds of students in music after a 4-year course in harmony, counterpoint, composition, and orchestration. The degree of Bachelor of Music has been conferred on many who qualified to meet the requirements. The graduate school was founded 1882. Courses lead to degrees of Master of Arts and Doctor of Philosophy. Other departments are the Law School, 34th and Chestnut Streets, building dedicated University Day, 1900. Architects, Cope and Stewardson. Style similar to the English Renaissance as developed by Sir Christopher Wren. Indiana limestone and dull red brick. contains the Biddle Law Library, 55,000 volumes, the Black Memorial Collection of English legal engravings, most complete in America, several original documents by Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, and other colonial men, many objects of historical interest to members of the bar. A fine collection of portraits include those of Algernon Sidney Biddle by Cecilia Beau, Charles Chauncey by Henry Inman, Thomas McKean, LL.D. by Robert W. Vano, Richard Cox McMurtry, LL.D. by William M. Chase, James Wilson, LL.D. by Albert Rosenthal, from a miniature, marble busts of Daniel Webster and Jeremiah Sullivan, tablets and memorials. Laboratory of Chemistry, 34th and Spruce Streets, dedicated 1894, shows the broad projecting eaves of brick architecture in the Italian Renaissance. Architects Cope and Stewardson. It is one of the best equipped chemical laboratories in America. The Engineering Building, 33rd and Locust Streets, dedicated 1906, Georgian, dark brick with limestone trimmings. Architects Cope and Stewardson. Houses the civil, electrical, and mechanical engineering departments, best equipped of its kind. In its collection of portraits is that of John Henry Town by William M. Hunt. Laboratory of Hygiene includes the Psychological Clinic, Department of Physical Education, and Franklin Field. 33rd and Spruce Streets, dedicated 1895, seating capacity of the stadium about 62,000, was for many years scene of annual football between the United States military and naval academies. Gymnasium facing 33rd Street, erected 1903, English collegiate, Gothic, dark red brick with black headers laid in Flemish bond, terracotta and Indiana limestone trimmings, floors and columns concrete, comprises Waitman Hall, exercising rooms, and a large swimming pool. Architects Frank Miles Day and brother. In front of the terrace is statue of Benjamin Franklin at 17, as he first entered Philadelphia in 1732. Sculptor Dr. R. Tate Mackenzie. Pedestal designed by Professor Paul P. Crett. In the entrance is bronze tablet in relief. Full-figure portrait of Charles S. Vane in baseball uniform. 1895 College. Sculptor R. Tate Mackenzie. Also other memorials. Department of Archaeology, founded 1889 by the late Provost William Pepper, M.D., LL.D., Museum. Spruce Street, near 34th Street, open free daily, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Sunday 2 to 6 p.m. The treatment of this building and the courtyard, begun in 1897, is among the most successful works of architecture in this country. It was inspired by the round, arched brick architecture of northern Italy, about 12th century, details especially suggesting the old church of San Stefano in Bologna. Roof of Spanish tiles gives added charm. Architects in cooperation, Wilson Iyer, Jr., Cope and Stewardson, Frank Miles Day, and brother. Has valuable collections illustrating the history of mankind. Egyptian, Cretan, Etruscan, and Babylonian antiquities, famous tablets from Nippur, and the Dilwyn Parish collection of Greco-Roman papyri, among which are the oldest known fragments of the Gospel of St. Matthew. During 1916, the museum maintained 4 expeditions in the field, in Egypt, China, Siberia, and one on the Amazon, which will return with collections they have gathered. Among the portraits in the museum are Mrs. William D. Frismith, donor of collection of musical instruments, and Franklin Hamilton Cushing, ethnologist, both by Thomas Eakins. Bronze statue of Dr. William Pepper by Carl Bitter is in the Italian Garden. Free public illustrated lectures are given Saturdays, 3:30 p.m. from November to March. Library, founded 1749, with volumes bearing accession dates of 1749, given by Benjamin Franklin. First Provost William Smith. Louis XVI of France and others, now contains about 450,000 volumes, and many special collections. Present building dedicated 1891, 34th and Locust Streets. Red brick, sandstone, and terracotta. Furness, Evans and Company, architects. Among the portraits here are Benjamin Franklin, LL.D., replica by Thomas Gainsborough, R.A., of his original. William Wordsworth, poet, from life, by Henry Inman in 1844. Joseph G. Rosengarten, LL.D., by B.A. Osnes, and the entire class of 1811-1 in silhouette, cut at Peale's Museum. Here also is the famous orrery and large clock made by David Rittenhouse for this university. Houston Hall, memorial to Henry Howard Houston, Jr., class of 78, Spruce Street above 34th. North Conshohocken in Indiana limestone, architect's design of 2 students of the School of Architecture, developed by Frank Miles Day, was planned by Provost C.C. Harrison to weld the cosmopolitan body of students into one democratic brotherhood, which has now become a worldwide movement in college life. Contains trophy rooms, pool tables, and publication office of Old Pen, until 1918 the official weekly. Courses of free public lectures are given by members of the faculty and men from other American and foreign universities. Services by eminent ministers are conducted each Saturday morning. Among the many portraits in Houston Hall are Henry Howard Houston, Jr., by Cecilia Beau, David Rittenhouse by Charles Wilson Peale, Henry Reed, and Henry Vathake, both by Sully. The University Hospital, 34th and Spruce Streets, founded by the late Provost Dr. William Pepper in 1874, covers 2 city blocks. Medical staff consists of more than 150 physicians and 100 nurses. The surgical building, erected 1914, Jacobean style, brick and limestone. Architects Brockie and Hastings. Contains marble bust on pedestal of Dr. William Pepper, Provost, 1881-94. Bronze mural tablet with portrait of late Dr. John H. Musser, sculptor Dr. R. Tate Mackenzie, and many bronze memorials. The Medical Laboratory, dedicated 1904 on Hamilton Walk, English Collegiate of middle 17th century, hard burnt brick and buff Indiana limestone. Architects Cope and Stewardson. Interior finished in white Italian marble. Is one of the largest and best equipped in America. Contains nearly complete collection of oil portraits of staff of physicians from 1765, including painting of David Hayes Agnew, M.D., LL.D., at the close of a clinic in Medical Hall. All the subordinate figures in the group are likenesses, among them Dr. J. William White, Dr. Joseph Leedy, Jr., and the artist Thomas Eakins. Professor John Morgan, founder of the medical school, after the original by Angelica Kaufman. Professor William Osler, LL.D., and DeForest Willard by W.M. Chase. Professor Philip Singh, Physic, first American to be elected member of Royal Academy, France, by Henry Inman, from life in 1836. Professor Benjamin Rush, by John Neagle. Dr. J. William White, by John S. Sargent, and bronze bust on pedestal of Dr. Joseph Leedy. The Wistar Institute of Anatomy and Biology, 36th Street and Woodland Avenue, founded 1892, for extension of Wistar and Homer museums. First university institute exclusively for research in anatomy and biology. Buff brick and light terracotta, fireproof. Built 1808. Architects George W. and W. D. Hewitt. In 1905, this institute became the clearinghouse for anatomy in America, and in 1906 was appointed Central United States Institute for Brain Investigation. The 5 principal independent anatomical journals of the United States are published here. Open to the public daily except Sundays and holidays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 9 a.m. to 12. Contains bronze bust, sculptor Samuel Murray, 1890, of General Isaac J. Wistar, Psi D., who gave the building an endowment. In bronze vase are his ashes. Also in 3 bronze vases are the ashes of Joseph Leedy, M.D., LL.D., John Adams Ryder, Ph.D., and Professor Edward Drinker Cope. Opposite the Architectural School, 36th Street and Woodland Avenue, second only in importance and numbers to the École des Beaux-Arts, Paris. The esprit de corps of faculty and students is most pronounced. Students and graduates of late years have won more competitive prizes and scholarships than those of all other American schools combined. The 4 years course leads to degree, special 2 years course, and summer 6 weeks course. The Botanic Gardens, established 1894, face Hamilton Walk, open to visitors from sunrise to sunset. Greenhouses filled with rare plants from all the world. Lily and lotus ponds are attractive features of the campus. Open-air plays are given here. The Vivarium, established 1898, has fresh and saltwater aquaria, first vivarium ever connected with any educational institution. Zoological Laboratory on Hamilton Walk and 39th Street, built 1910. Architects Cope and Stewardson. Hard burnt brick and Indiana limestone. English Collegiate, of middle 17th century. Considered best working laboratory for its purpose in this country. Contains many famous collections. Veterinary Building and Hospital, 39th Street and Woodland Avenue, constructed about a square courtyard. One of the best equipped of its kind. Architects Cope and Stewardson. English Collegiate, 17th century. Hard burnt yellow brick and limestone trimmings. Roof, green slate. Built 1906-7. School of Dentistry. Thomas W. Evans Museum and Dental Institute. 40th and Spruce Streets. Collegiate Gothic. Time of Henry VIII. Hard burnt red and black brick and Indiana limestone. Built 1914. Architect John T. Windrum. The grotesques ornamenting the band courses, while in the spirit of the Middle Ages, are modern in subject and caricature. Most complete edifice in the world devoted to the science of dentistry. Museum contains the priceless Evans collection, gifts from the nobility of Europe, portraits and busts of Dr. Evans. Henry Phipps Institute for the Study, Prevention and Treatment of Tuberculosis, founded 1903, northeast corner of 7th and Lombard Streets, facing Star Garden Park, a civic center of the Playgrounds Commission. Is colonial style, designed by Grosvenor Atterbury, New York, brick trimmed with white marble. Flower Astronomical Observatory at Lanark on Westchester Pike. Architect Edgar V. Sealer, 1895. Open to visitors every Thursday evening during collegiate year, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Is equipped with an 18-inch equatorial telescope and other instruments of latest and most approved design. Dormitory houses, Jacobean, 30 in number, begun in 1895, suggest the Oxford and Cambridge colleges. Carved grotesque bosses on main cornices are reminiscent of the Gothic period. They are amusing and display an unusual amount of imagination. Material, Hard burnt yellow brick and Indiana limestone. Architects Cope and Stewardson. Entrance through 2 gateways known as Memorial Tower, gift of the alumni, dedicated in 1901, in memory of University of Pennsylvania men who served in the Spanish-American War. Cornerstone was laid by General Miles in 1900. And the Provost Tower, named as memorial to the Provost of the University of Pennsylvania, whose 12 names are carved on medallions, from William Smith to Charles Custis Harrison. William Penn Charter School, 8 to 10 South 12th Street, was planned in 1684 at a meeting of the Provincial Council, Governor Penn presiding. In 1689, William Penn, writing from England to Thomas Lloyd, President of Council, instructed him to set up a public grammar school in Philadelphia. The school was incorporated in 1698, and George Keith engaged as headmaster 1699. In 1701, William Penn, while on a visit to America, granted the school a charter from his own hand. On the same day he chartered the city itself. The school is the oldest existing chartered school in America. A second and more liberal charter was granted 1708. A third charter, under which the school is still conducted, 1711. The originals of all 3 of these charters are in the school's possession. The school will be moved to Pinehurst, the Walnut Estate, 22 acres on School Lane near Wissahickon Avenue, Germantown, acquired by gift. Field now used for their athletic sports, surface having been adapted for the purpose by the Newhall Engineering Company, Philadelphia, who made there a football oval, an 18-foot quarter-mile track, and an 18-foot 220-yard straightaway. Drainage of these tracks and oval is such that in 8 years not one scheduled contest has been postponed on account of condition of the ground. Central High School, Broad and Green Streets, established 1836. In view of the increasing income and diminishing debt of the nation, the United States Congress in 1836 passed a law authorizing the distribution of surplus revenue among the states, to be disposed of as their legislatures might enact. Pennsylvania devoted her share, over $70,000, to public education, and the controllers erected a high school in Philadelphia, which was completed 1838, east side of Juniper Street, below Market Street. In 1853, the original building was sold. Present structure occupied in 1900. Conferring of academic degrees dates from 1849. Memorial window to Edward T. Steele in Assembly Room. Girard College, College in Corinthian Avenues, for the care and training of orphan boys, founded by Stephen Girard, a native of France, who at his death in 1831 left his estate for this purpose. Main building, architect Thomas Eustace Walter, architect of the Capitol at Washington, probably the finest architectural specimen in Philadelphia, modeled after a Greek temple. White marble covers an area of 34,344 feet, exclusive of 11 marble steps by which it approached on every side. A colonnade of 34 Corinthian columns aid in supporting the marble roof, each column 6 feet in diameter and 55 feet high. The diameter of corner columns being increased 1.5 inches to overcome apparent reduction of size from their insulated position. Bases 9 feet 3 inches in diameter, 3 feet 2 inches high. Capitol is 8 feet 6 inches high and 9 feet 4 inches wide. Each shaft, as well as the bases, consists of a single piece without vertical joints. At each end of the 3-story building is a vestibule, the ceilings of which are supported by 8 columns, whose shafts are composed of a single stone. Cornerstone was laid July 4, 1834, and the completed building transferred to the Board of Directors 1847. In the first vestibule is white marble sarcophagus with body of Stephen Girard, and his statue by Gavleau. The memorial room contains portrait of Girard by J. R. Lambden, copy from posthumous portrait by Bass Otis in Masonic Temple. Interesting collection of furniture. Pictures, china, silverware, and fine marble bust of Napoleon I by Canova, presented to Girard by Joseph Bonaparte. Present capacity, 1,520 boys admitted from 6 to 10 years of age, and graduated 14 to 16 years of age. Preference of admission is given to those born within the old Philadelphia city limits. Next in consideration, those born in Pennsylvania, and third group, boys born in the cities of New York and New Orleans. There are several hundred on waiting list. Equipment comprises 10 white marble buildings for school and house purposes, chapel seating 1,600, and other buildings. Also plant for heat, light, and power, enclosed on 40 acres with a 10-foot-high stone wall. Endowment now about $29 million. Soldiers and Sailors Monument on campus, in memory of the graduates who served in the Civil War. Sculptor J. Massey Rind. Clergymen are excluded by Girard's will, that boys might be kept free from denominational controversies. Bible has always had a foremost place in the teaching of the college. Chapel speakers are laymen of prominence in the professional and business world. End of section 6.